Hey y'all, so you're thinking about buying a waterfront home on Lake Norman? Well, this has certainly become a trend as we have people moving to the Lake Norman area from all over the country. Even Aaron and I moved to Lake Norman years ago. There's much to love about everyday lake living, but today I'm going to break down the top 3 things you must know before buying a waterfront home on Lake Norman. Make sure to stick around for the last one, as it happens much more often than you think. What's up everybody? It's Lake Norman Mike here, delivering the goods each and every week on all things Lake Norman. If this is your first time on our channel and you want to know what it's like to work, eat, live, sleep, play, as well as all the pros and cons of living in Lake Norman, make sure to tap on the subscribe button to keep up on our newest videos. Also, if at any point in this video you need help navigating the real estate market here, hit pause. Reach out to me, use the contact information in the description below, or drop a question in the comments, and I'd be happy to offer my guidance for free. Now let's get into it. Number 1, bridge height. Think, bridge height, what a big deal. Believe it or not, this is probably the one thing that many buyers considering purchasing a lot or lake house on Lake Norman simply don't realize or ever think about. After all, most buyers just get excited with the water view when they walk through the front door. Sure, they may walk out to the dock, they look around, but they rarely think about what we're about to cover in this video. And this might not be the biggest issue of the 3 we'll discuss today, but it sure can impact your ability to get around and enjoy Lake Norman. I challenge you to ask anyone else how many bridges are on the lake, their locations, how high they sit off the water, see what type of advantages you receive. Believe it or not, there are 5 major bridges on Lake Norman and 16 additional bridges that either connect smaller islands or creeks that service the lake. Many of these bridges on Lake Norman sit really low in the water. Here's an example of a bridge you might have to contend with if you're out enjoying the lake on a regular basis. It's the Mount Pleasant Road Bridge up where Aaron and I live on the lake in Cheryl's Ford. It has a whopping 5 foot 5 inches of clearance when the lake is full. What does this mean for the Lake Norman boataholic? Not much if you have a standard pontoon boat with a bimini top, or an older wakeboard boat that sits really low in the water. On the other hand, those of you who have larger boats or towers that do not collapse easily, you might be in for some challenges. For those that have the new power tower set up, hey, no problem at all. Tower goes up and down with the push of a button. But the avid boaters will attest, the slightly older towers are a pain in the rear to take up and down. Now try doing it in the dark after returning from dinner at one of the lake's restaurants. If Aaron and I want to hit one of our favorite restaurants on the water, Apps and Taps, we have to navigate not only 1 bridge, but a total of 3, all of which sit low enough in the lake to have to lower the tower. So in summary, if you're buying a Lake Norman waterfront home, it might be a good idea to work with someone who can point these things out before you make your purchase. That would be Lake Norman Mike. After all, I'd hate to invite you to lunch at one of the lake's restaurants only to receive a call from you that says, "You're stuck under a bridge." Okay, just kidding. If you want to know all about bridge locations, their heights, make sure to check out the blog my wife Erin wrote by simply clicking on the Lake Norman Bridge link below in the descriptions. She's covered it all in detail. Number 2, your Lake Norman dock. Is it permitted? I cannot stress the importance of this one enough. Please make sure to obtain the permitting history of the existing dock of the Lake Norman home or lot you are considering buying. This is an ongoing problem on Lake Norman. Duke Energy controls all things when it comes to what you can or cannot do with respect to structures over the water, and usually within the first 50 feet between the water's shoreline and your home. There's normally a small metal tag mounted on the back of the dock that has a number on it, and it's usually facing the lake. This is exactly what Duke Energy will place on the dock when it has been formally approved by them. But don't just rely on this though. Make sure the former owner is able to provide you with a copy of the physical permit. Over the years, many docks were modified by property owners without the consent of Duke Energy. There are many restrictions pertaining to the size, how far your dock encroaches in the lake, and even its height. A full permitting history will show you the permit tag number as well as a sketch of what was originally approved for this property. Make sure the tag number matches the permit number attached to the back of the dock. It would not be the first time where there was a metal tag on the dock and no permit on file with Duke. It happens. Trust me when I say this, you do not want to move into your brand new lake home and realize your dock was either never permitted or there were modifications done that Duke never approved. It's not an easy fix and can lead to required modifications to make it conform to their requirements. In summary, do not close on a lot or home with a dock sitting on Lake Norman's waterfront unless you have the permit and you have verified the sketch that is on the actual permit matches the dock currently sitting on the lake. Number 3, the most important, Lake Norman water depth. Okay, check this out. If you spent any time talking with me or on my website or on my YouTube channel, you know I talk about this one often. I'll try to be brief, but it's very important to understand that Lake Norman is a huge lake with lots of small fingers. 520 miles of shoreline, you are going to have many coves that come off the main channel throughout the lake. As a matter of fact, a majority of the homes and the lots for sale on Lake Norman sit on coves. Many of these coves can appear to have excellent water. That is if you happen to be viewing them at certain times of the year. Lake Norman's water levels drop typically between 3 to 6 feet every single year. Not much. Sounds like nothing, right? Well, for many coves, that could be a very large drop and have a negative impact on your ability to enjoy the lake. It would take a while to name all the coves that have issues with year-round boating, so I'll leave that for another day. Just know, there are many boats that have to be removed from their waterfront property or they might end up sitting on dry land at certain times of the year. This could be the same dry land behind a property you viewed in April that had a boat floating on shimmering lake water. What a killer. Nothing will destroy your dream of lake living faster than your boat sitting on the bottom of a lake while your friends are out enjoying it. I will also quickly point out that most docks have boat lifts, and many of these lifts have floats. They normally need between 3 to 4 feet to operate below the water. This has to be factored in as well when you're measuring the water depth at the dock. A simple 2-foot drop in the lake level, which is the target lake level that Duke Energy aims for during the entire boating season, means you better have 6 to 7 feet of water depth or your boat is on a lift all summer. So a good rule of thumb is to shoot for 9 to 10 feet as a minimum. All right, I'm sure you can imagine the stress, anxiety it would create to contend with any of what I've covered in this video. It happens. Just make sure you do your research. Figure out where the lot or property you are interested in is located in relation to bridges, and most definitely check the water depth at the dock before making an offer, and please make sure it's been approved and permitted by Duke Energy. All right, folks, that's a wrap for this one. I hope you all have found some good value from this video, and if you did, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate the support, and be sure to check out some of our other videos. If you're looking into relocating, buying, or selling real estate in the Lake Norman area, please feel free to reach out to me. My email, address, phone number, and Calendly link is in the description below, and I'd be happy to set up a time to meet with you one-on-one. You can also visit lakenormanmove.com, where you can see all the latest listings in Lake Norman. Well, until next time, my friends, hope to see you on the lake.